Good evening, everyone, and welcome to Vaughn International Film Festival's 2024 spring launch. My name is Antonio Yenko, and I'm the Director of Sponsorship and Events at VFF. Before we begin, I want to acknowledge that the city of Vaughn is situated in the territory and Treaty 13 lands of the Mississaugas of the Credit First Nation. We also recognize the traditional territory of the Huron-Wendat and the Haudenosaunee, on which we are meeting today. I'd like to thank Chop Steakhouse and Bar for sponsoring today's spring launch. When I say that, I want to hear like the whole Chop team is here. Where's that energy? Izzy, bring that energy. Andrew, let's hear it. Chris got his family here. They made the trip from where? Niagara, right? Niagara made the trip. Appreciate it. Welcome to Vaughn. Hope you guys are enjoying it. Thanks again, Chris, for your undivided support. Now, we chatted pre-pandemic, and I can imagine being a general manager of a restaurant, the challenges you had to face to navigate through the pandemic, but you did it with optimism, and you always reminded me to move forward with optimism. And I love not just calling you someone that is a supporter of the festival, but a friend. So thank you for your undivided support. I'm making it hard when you have to come up for your speech, so I'm just taking that up. Now I'm excited to announce the host. Woo! For over 20 years, she has been co-hosting Chin TV's festival Italiano di Johnny Lombardi, one of the longest running live television programs in Canada. Like, let's make noise for that. She is also a member of VFF's international judging panel, so she's seen all these films. She's one of the reasons why the nominees are who they are, so you can have a conversation with her afterwards. Without further ado, I call her a friend of mine. I'd like to welcome the incredible 2024 spring launch, the one and only Andrea Trentadue.
I will have to lower this. Thank you. Even with my heels, and they're really high. Hi, everybody. How's everybody doing? Yes? It is great to be here. And you know, Antonio and I, we were reminiscing just before we got started tonight. This marks 12 years of the VFF, which I think is absolutely incredible. What started out as a dream, right, Antonio? You know, back in 2013, or prior to that as you were planning, to have this little film festival in Vaughn. Who would have thought, right? You're always thinking big cities, but in Vaughn. And you made it happen. And I remember I had the pleasure of interviewing him on the show back then. And we had not collaborated yet. But then after the interview, I just looked over at you and I said, oh my God, I love films. I love all of this. And you said, well, do you want to like judge? I'm like, really? Yes. Fast forward all these years later, I'm still judging, part of the international judging panel. Thanks to you, I've seen some incredible films and submissions that you've had. And just to kind of give you some perspective, you know, when you think of like films, you're thinking these big movies, they give you what, an hour and a half, sometimes 3 hours to get to the point. And you're kind of in there, and it's a gradual process. But imagine these short films, these international films that we're going to talk about, 20 minutes or less. They have to get you in 20 minutes or less to make you to make you either, whatever the emotion they're trying to get at you, 20 minutes or less. Then we have the student component in 10 minutes or less. That is not easy by any means. So when they do that, that's why these films are so important and so vital, because this is the start of something so much bigger for some of these students and some of these international filmmakers and movie directors. So thank you, Antonio, and your team for really putting this on the map. Putting Vaughn on the map too, right, Mayor? Putting Vaughn on the map in that respect. Thank you so much, Antonio. So now I'd like to invite Mayor Stephen Del Duca to please say a few words. Mayor Stephen Del Duca, everyone.
Good evening, everyone. First of all, I am so thrilled to be here tonight with all of you for the spring launch. I have to tell you, today, you saw it in the video, the global reach of the Vaughn International Film Festival, the number of films that are submitted, the attention that our community gets and that this film festival gets simply would not have been possible if it wasn't for the inspiring leadership and the dream combined with the drive to make the dream real, exemplified by Antonio Yenko. Antonio, thank you very much for everything that you do and have done. Earlier this year, I announced on behalf of our council that the City of Vaughn will, in fact, be moving forward with our first ever Performing Arts and Cultural Arts Center in the Vaughn Metropolitan Center. And in fact, I know many here tonight are very familiar with the studios of Assembly Park. Our future Performing Arts Center will be built just adjacent to the studios of Assembly Park, so it's a very familiar part of our city. And this is so important for us because we know that arts and culture and the creative industry help to nourish the soul of a community that is growing as rapidly as ours is. But they also help contribute in a major way to our economy.
Let's take a look at an interesting compilation of stats from the last 11 years of the festival. Take a look.
Did you know that over the years, VFF has received a staggering 1,648 film submissions, and out of those films, 123 have been screened throughout 11 festivals. Hailing from over 65 countries worldwide, these films have brought audiences together in celebration of the art of short filmmaking. Now, let's talk about the most glamorous part of the festival, the VFF Awards. In the Best Film category alone, we've seen winners from 7 different countries, with Belgium leading the pack with 3 wins, including the acclaimed Just Married from 2023. For our most awarded film, we look back to 2019's Made Public, which took home a remarkable 4 awards. VFF has also featured 6 Oscar-nominated short films in its previous lineups, including our Decennium Award-winning film, Curfew, which took home an Oscar for Best Short Film in 2013. Let's shine a light now on this year. Over 40 countries have submitted to VFF 2024, with first-timers such as Nepal, Costa Rica, and Lithuania, for a total of over 200 film submissions, the second highest in our history. Each year, we're excited for you to witness films that will make their mark in the VFF history books. Thank you for being part of this journey. May the enduring magic of film continue to inspire us all.
So now, let's dive into the buttery details of this year's festival. So, we were talking about the different films. So the student film component of this festival came about a year or so later after the Vaughn Film Festival started with the international lineup, so 2014. And we'll start with only a few films. They now have over 70 films that have been submitted for the screening. So here we go. Sponsored by Lumix, the student screening will be the opening of the festival, so it's going to be Monday, June 17th. And for the first time, it will be taking place at the studios at Assembly Park, creating an intimate atmosphere for guests to lose themselves in these thrilling, funny, and inspiring stories from the creative minds of high school students, where it all begins, right? So I'm pleased to announce that the host of VFF's student screening will be the Director of Production at Toronto Film School. His name is Michelangelo Masanke. Yes. In addition to his role at Toronto Film School, Michelangelo is also the president and founder of Cine Institute, who just recently had their first annual Cine Film Fest, celebrating local and international Filipino filmmakers. Michelangelo is also on VFF's international judging panel, and we can't wait to have him lead the student screening. So as I mentioned, this year VFF received roughly 70 student films from high school students across the province of Ontario. The VFF programming team selected 18 of these films. I don't know how you guys do this when you get so many wonderful submissions, but from 11 different high schools for this year's lineup. All of these student films were reviewed by our student judging panel, consisting of members of the Entertainment Industry Professionals Mentoring Alliance, or IPMA. So IPMA is based in LA. IPMA helps guide future filmmakers by connecting them with experts in the field, providing them with the rare and opportune chance to network, which we know is vital. VFF has been a partner organization of IPMA since its conception in 2018, but formally became the first Canadian member organization in 2021. The IPMA judges selected 3 finalists from these 18 films, and these finalists will be announced at the student screening, and each of them will be awarded with a Lumix full-frame mirrorless camera valued at over $3,000. Yes, it's a nice prize. So let's watch a trailer of the student film book.
like you just need me right now.
Long and McQuaid, where the music begins.
So you own a business, have an event you want people to know about. You want to spread the word to as many people as possible that your product or service exists. Call AdWorks International. AdWorks is an advertising agency which utilizes professionals in radio, television, and print advertising to help you get your company's message across. Your ad will be noticed by more people, more quickly. AdWorks from concept to completion will deliver an ad that works. AdWorks International. Call 416-832-7293.
On to the international screenings, which are also taking place at the studios at Assembly Park. This year, as mentioned, VFF received over 200 submissions from around the world. And again, very hard task, but from these they selected 17 films from 10 different countries. So both international screening blocks will be hosted by none other than Julia Supa. Where's Julia Supa? I saw her. Where's she? Stand up, Julia. A familiar face to many, I'm sure. Julia is a media producer, content creator, and Vaughn-based blogger. She is a longtime supporter at VFF, as her business, Supa Media, is also an official media partner. VFF is excited to have Julia's warm personality lead the international screenings. Thank you, Julia. Yes. So here we go. Here's some of the details for you. International Block 1 will take place on Tuesday, June 18th at the studios at Assembly Park, followed by an after party like the one you saw at CHOP. I want to see those things in the, what are those? Yeah, I want, you know. Can I hold one of those? Is that a, maybe not. Do I need to, no, okay. At CHOP Steakhouse and Bar, sponsored by Aloft Vine Mills. Interestingly enough, each of the 8 films in this block are from different countries, making it VFF's most diverse film block to date. So, here are the films. From USA, Pathological, directed by Alison Rich. From France, Cut, directed by Adam Fleck. From Greece, Highway of a Broken Heart, directed by Nico Christis. From Canada, Mothers and Monsters, directed by Edith Yurish. From Iran, The Steak, directed by Kiarash Dadgar Mohedi. From Brazil, The Pleasure is All Mine, directed by Vanessa Soundray. From Croatia, The Real Truth About the Fight, directed by Andrea Slavicek. And lastly, from Spain, Paris 70, directed by Dani Fichas Roca. This is a great lineup. International Block 2 will take place on Wednesday, June 19th at the studios at Assembly Park, followed by an after party at CHOP Steakhouse and Bar, sponsored by Sardo Foods. The films will include from USA, In Wonderland, directed by Andrea Camacho McCracken. From the United Kingdom, Visible Mending, directed by Samantha Moore. From Iran, It Turns Blue, directed by Shadi Karamoudi. From Spain, Marshmallows, directed by Edu Escudero. From USA, Bust, directed by Angales Field. From USA, 5 Stages of Grief, directed by Foster Wilson. From Italy, Estasi, directed by Domenico Ladaga. From Italy, Shooting Watermelons, directed by Antonio Donato. And finally, from Canada, Heat Spell, directed by Marie-Pierre Dupuis. As one of the international judges to watch some of these films, some made me laugh, a few made me cry. There's a few that I went like, what's that about? I wasn't too sure, in the sense of questioning what I was watching, but also but nonetheless, the storytelling was absolutely incredible. So I guarantee you, you are going to love these 2 international blocks. And then when you see, I mean, they're all deserving, but we're going to get to who some of those nominees are going to be. But before we do, I have some other exciting news for you, okay? And this is what we're calling the cherry on top. The VFF Awards is taking place, of course, on their closing night. This will be the 6th time that the VFF Awards will be held at the Always Elegant Terrace event venue. And we are excited to announce that this year's VFF Awards host will be Nicole Cervinas. 2024 Sandra Piccolo Trailblazer Award goes to Kimberly Jimenez. There she is. Kimberly serves as Senior Vice President, Post-Production Services at Sony Pictures Entertainment. Kimberly is the first female to hold this position at any post-sound facility in the U.S. She manages the studio sound editorial and mixing departments and oversees their work in creating movie and television soundtracks. Some of her notable projects include Captain America, The First Avenger, Where the Crawdads Sing, and Spider-Man No Way Home. Our next award recognizes an individual who is highly dedicated to contributing to the independent film scene. He is a versatile actor well known for countless roles in television and feature films. He is also a VFF alumnus, having had 2 of his films recognized at past festivals. This year's Indie Leader Award goes to Josh Zuckerman. Some of his most notable roles were in Desperate Housewives, Austin Powers and Goldmember, and most recently, the Academy Award-winning Oppenheimer. Let's turn to the screens to see a highlight reel of Josh's work.
Would you like to tell us a little about yourself?
What are they missing?
You know, it's kind of hard to think when you're in our face like that.
You think it's going to be easier when you got a real patient really dying?
I have a perfect GPA, Naomi, and I know you probably don't know what that means, so let me tell you. It means my chance to go to MIT. Not your random Facebook people, but like real actual people.
Maddie, I know it's a lot to ask, but you're gonna have to trust me.
Nice to meet you, number 2. But now I'm going to be named this year's International Man of Mystery.
She's a smart thing on the world.
Were you lovers? Did she want to be lovers?
I don't know what she wanted.
I am not here to argue that my client is not a monster. That he wasn't a dictator, or even a murderer.
It's more than that. It's using the creatives to guide the marketing so we can come up with something unique and eye-catching. It's nurturing the talent to write the best script, to direct the best film. Really? Really?
But you were just saying that you didn't want to have anything to do with it.
Yeah. Yes. This is it. Please. Please.
What do you know about quantum mechanics?
I have a grasp on the basis.
You're doing it wrong. Is light made up of particles or waves? Quantum mechanics says it's both. How can it be both?
It can't.
It can't.
All I'm saying is if you cling to what you left behind, you'll prolong your pain.
So you own a business, have an event you want people to know about. You want to spread the word to as many people as possible that your product or service exists. Call AdWorks International. AdWorks is an advertising agency which utilizes professionals in radio, television, and print advertising to help you get your company's message across. Your ad will be noticed by more people more quickly. AdWorks from concept to completion will deliver an ad that works. AdWorks International. Call 416-832-7293.
Embracing and celebrating diversity. For many, the journey of our brothers and sisters in the Caribbean has been a search for a new home, where opportunities abound, where migrants from every country around the world find a new beginning, a new career, a new and better life. A place where their hard work and contribution to this great country will pay off for generations to come. And although they may be from uniquely different islands, Caribbean Showtime is proud to represent them all by celebrating diversity. CSTV, connecting the Caribbean diaspora.
Welcome back. Today we're talking with Andrea.
32.
And Andrea's job with Chin Radio is?
Yeah, with Chin Television, I'm a Chin TV host, but with the capacity of here at Vaughn, with the Vaughn International Film Festival, I am hosting the spring launch today.
Wonderful. Now, how long have you been associated with the spring launch?
So this is my first time hosting the spring launch, but I have actually been involved with the Vaughn, the VFF, since inception, actually since 2013. I was going over with one of the founders, Antonio Yanko, today. We were talking, and I realized I've been here since pretty much the beginning as an international judge. So it's definitely been a few years, but it's been fantastic.
Beautiful. And I'm assuming you'll be at the other event coming up?
Looking forward to it. Yeah, there's 2 screening dates. Well, there's a student screening, and then there's the 2 screening for the international films, and then of course there's the big, the big gala at the end of it all.
Wonderful. And what's your favorite part of the festival?
My favorite part of the festival, obviously, it's the movies. I mean, they bring films from all over the world for the international lineup, and it really is great to see different perspectives, different ideas, different storylines from different parts of the world.
Wonderful. And who are some of the celebrities you've seen here?
Today?
Well, whenever.
Listen, today, we had the mayor of Vaughn here. Oh, yeah. Always exciting to see him. But also talking and seeing those that are part of the lineup. There's going to be a lot of wonderful producers and filmmakers and actors and actresses that will be joining the festival as it unfolds for that 1 week.
Okay, we're here today talking to Antonio Yanko, who is the founder of the Vaughn Film Festival for how many years now?
Well, it's year 12 now. Yep, we're celebrating Vaughn International Film Festival's 12th edition.
Wonderful. And the next, we just had the VFF
spring launch, yeah.
Spring launch, and it's in preparation for the dates coming?
Festival week, 17th to the 20th of June. We celebrate the best in international short, including student films. We challenge all the high school students across the province to submit a 10-minute or less short film. The winning school gets $3,000 towards their department. They also get a $3,000 Lumix camera given to the student. Can you imagine that, being a high school student and doing that? And then the international filmmakers get recognized as well across 2 days, the 18th and 19th. Then we have our big award show that celebrates them all.
Wonderful. And I hear you have some pretty interesting celebrities grace your presence every now and then.
Well, we've got this year Josh Zuckerman, notable actor, who's receiving our Independent Leadership Award, and then Kimberly Jimenez, who's the Executive Vice President at Sony Pictures for Post-Production, receiving our Alessandra Piccolo Trailblazer Award. So excited to honor both of them for their incredible achievements.
Very nice. And what's your favorite time of the whole festival?
Festival week. It has to be. And the student screenings. The June 17th screenings, we always launch, well, we have for the last few years, we launch the festival with student screenings because it gives our team this boost of morale to see these students and them getting recognized on this international global stage, and then the enthusiasm on their face is what really gives us the energy we need to get through the challenges of Festival Week.
Can you tell me, since fruition, are there any students who have come up the ladder, so to speak, and recognized?
So interesting enough, a student actually got, because of winning VFF's 2016 student film competition, they got offered an internship at Sony Pictures in LA. So that was one of the exciting opportunities that have spilt over it. I would say a lot more of our international filmmakers, you've seen them transition from post-secondary to some of the bigger stages. They've produced short films, then feature films. They've been noticed for a few of their feature film projects. Yeah, I think there's just a plethora of them, and we're excited to see the new emerging filmmakers that are coming down the pipeline.
That person's name? Do you recall their name? That individual?
School, I could say it was TD Christian, because we usually credit by the school. So it was TD Christian that won in 2016. The film was called The Other Side, and the premise of it was and I use this when I go and speak into schools. The premise was about spending the day in the life of another student, but how they did it is there was a bully bullying a young student, took his shoes from him, and then as a joke went to put them on. The second he stepped into his shoes, he literally spent the day in the gentleman's shoes. And it was the experience of being bullied and what that was like. So yeah, the premise was amazing, the film was amazing, the storytelling was great, cinematography for a student film was phenomenal.
That's beautiful. So if you can just tell us the exact preparation and date and location of the next festival?
So June 17th to 20th are the festival dates. 17th, 18th, and 19th are at the studios at Assembly Park. The after parties are at Chop Steakhouse and Bar. The 20th is our VFF Awards, and that's celebrated at the Terrace Event Center.
Well, thank you for that.
Thank you so much for coming out and supporting us. I appreciate that.
Much appreciated.